As this episode begins, Mike Taylor, Rick Warden, complains to Catherine, Sarah Lancashire, about the alien prank which he calls bullying and racism. She thought he would have realized it was a joke. Mike says it was a formality and he doesn't read every paper put in front of him. He says her glib response is a disappointment coming from someone like her. He says it is like putting your hand up a colleague's skirt, but Catherine doesn't think the joke is on par with sexual harassment. Mike receives a call about a body they've found that might be the Misper. When she asks if it is Joanna, Mike tells her to go secure the scene until the SIO turns up. As Catherine leaves, she gets a call from Richard, Derek Riddle, who tells her about Tommy escaping and Ryan, Reese Khanna, being there. Catherine learns about the fight in the foyer that distracted everyone so Tommy could escape. Ryan notices Matija, Jack Bondera, and Yvonne, Oliver Huntington, nearby. Yvonne tells Matija that they should take the money now. Yvonne looks over and notices that Ryan is taking pictures of him. Catherine talks to Claire, Siobhan Finneran, and tells her to stay away from Niels since Tommy knows that address. She learns about Ryan before saying Tommy knows where she works. Catherine is worried that Tommy, James Norton, will try to use Claire and Neil to get to Ryan. The call ends when Catherine arrives at the scene. Mike calls to tell her to get back as soon as she hands the scene over. Since it is organized, they should have eyes on Darius. Although Mike thinks she needs protection, Catherine says she isn't scared of him. Rob Hepworth, Mark Stanley, arrives at the scene and immediately denies killing his wife. Catherine throws the police tape at Gorkum, "Meet Doer soon," so they can secure the scene. She complains about Gorkum filing the complaint against her and Shaw. Andy Shepard, Vincent Franklin, arrives and tells Catherine that Mary Whitaker is over the manhunt. He wants her to go over there now to tell them about Tommy. Before she leaves, she tells Andy about Joanna and her daughters. Tommy is picked up by Darius, Alex Sakarianou, who tells him there is a change of plans because there was a mix-up in Elland. He'll drop him off somewhere else and he'll have everything he needs there. Tommy tells him that the escape was hilarious before claiming Darius is a genius. They got passports for Tommy and Ryan and they'll go via Dover. Darius promises that they'll sort him out with everything he needs. Darius says he'll drop him off and pick him up on Monday. If he doesn't have the boy by then, they'll have to go without him. He hopes Tommy isn't worried about the business with the policewoman. Catherine sits with D.C. Mitchell and shows him the picture of Matija. If it is who she thinks it is, she believes it has something to do with the Nazevics. Catherine gives him the registration number for the Honda they were driving. Mitchell wonders how long it'd take to get a train from Leeds to Halifax since they might be able to catch the suspects. When Matija picks up Yvonne, he tells him they're not going to get that money. Yvonne has other ideas though. Tommy is told to knock on the door and Suraj will let him in. Darius assures him he'll be in Marbella with Ryan a week from now. He doesn't think the business with a policewoman is a good idea. Tommy says getting even with her is just as important as getting to Marbella. Darius asks what the plan is and how they're going to get even with her. Tommy says he'll find her, follow her, and bide his time, but it'd help if he had a gun. When Darius says no to the gun, Tommy reminds him that he did everything he said he would with the Chris Oxley stuff. Darius relents and tells him he should do what he has to do, although he is advising him not to. Once he says no guns, Tommy asks for cash. He is told the man inside will give him cash since Darius doesn't carry any on him. Tommy goes inside with Suraj once he arrives in his vehicle. He is given beer and tobacco. Tommy goes up to the room where he is going to be sleeping. He comes back down to ask Suraj to get him a telephone. Suraj eventually says he'll get him a phone tomorrow. He also learns that there is Wi-Fi. Claire says she is going to collect Neil and they're going to go to Nev's house. Catherine learns that Nevison, George Costigan, said they can stay there for as long as they want to. She says she'll tell Richard to take Ryan up there. Ryan tells Richard he doesn't think he should go. Richard isn't going to miss the opportunity to question Darius. Richard tells ROS, Kelly Harrison, about Ryan being there and asks her not to drink too much. When she learns he is going out, she accuses him of making her a target. Richard assures her that Tommy knows nothing about the house and he wouldn't leave Ryan there if it was unsafe. Ryan is told to stay with ROS. Faisal, Amit Shah, passes through a police checkpoint on his way home. Once he goes inside, his wife and kids say they believe the man in the Audi has murdered Joanna and the kids. When they see a black van, they believe it could be a hearse. The girls think Faisal should tell the police about this morning and the crash. His wife argues that he should tell the police if Rob was aggressive since it might be relevant. Faisal doesn't want to get involved in anything like that. He begins freaking out and remembering what he did to Joanna. Richard tells Catherine where he left Ryan and where he is going. She is convinced that Darius was involved in Tommy's escape. Catherine tells him about the CCTV footage of Tommy fleeing on a bike. She says Darius could know that he is Ryan's granddad and he could use him to get to Ryan even if he gave them a fake name. Richard refuses to listen to Catherine because he wants to speak to Darius. Catherine asks Mike about Joanna's case, but he doesn't know anything. Mike warns her not to go back home. Richard goes inside to meet with Darius. He learns that Darius left a message saying he isn't going to make it, so they should reschedule. When he calls Catherine to tell her, she says he should pray Ryan is still where he left him. On his way back, he calls ROS to get her to give Ryan the phone only to find that he is already gone.